This is my 2007 Volvo S40. It has about 100,000 miles on it, and a couple of months ago it developed a couple problems with the trunk. The first problem was that the fault indicator on the dash indicated that the trunk lid was always open, and I couldn't figure out a way around that. It didn't bother me too much, but then a month later the trunk wouldn't open. Now you can, on the American version of this car, there's a child safety latch inside the trunk, and you can access that with the trunk shut through the rear seats, and you can tie a string to it, which will enable you to open the trunk from the inside of the car, which is a pretty good temporary fix and giving you enough time to try and figure out a better solution for the problem. I took a look at some of the online Volvo blogs and found that the most common failure for these trunk issues is broken lines inside the electrical harness feeding power to the trunk. The trunk, when it's opened and closed, goes through some extreme bending. There's a 90-degree angle there at the top, and then 180 degrees below that. Over the years, that produces metal fatigue, and those lines will break. I took a look, removing the grommet there at the top. I took a look inside, and immediately one of the broken lines popped right out at me. And that accounted for one of the problems. The other problem was another broken line a little bit further down toward that 180-degree bend. So that whole cable has to come out and be replaced. I went down to a local Volvo distributor, and it turns out that the whole harness is only $50, so that's the best way to go for me. The electrical harness is buried underneath a molding on the trunk lid. That molding is held on by around 11 plastic fasteners. Those fasteners can be pried out with 2 screwdrivers. If you use one, you could break it because it'll come out at an angle. There's a plastic cover that goes over the latch that can also be pulled straight back with the help of a couple screwdrivers. And there's a little handle on the right side. You don't want to pry it from the top because there are a couple dogs on it that will break off. You want to pry it from the bottom to get it going, and just enough to get your fingers under there. And with some force, it should pop right out. And there's that locking mechanism for that. The child safety latch can be pushed straight through an aperture that's cut into the molding. With the molding removed, we can now go ahead and remove 2 of the connectors under that molding. The first connector is going straight to the main latch, and all of these connectors have safety releases. Here I'm depressing the release with a screwdriver. There's not much room there. There goes one. And now we're going after the other connector that goes straight to the cluster containing the trunk opening push-button switch and the license plate lights. That's that assembly right there. It's held on by 4 Torx screws. They're T25s. There's one of the lamps, and there's the push-button switch itself. Once this is removed, you'll have access to the final connector, and that also has a release. And go ahead and press that and pull it right out. There's one connector left that goes into the trunk, and I'm going to go ahead and climb into the trunk here, and I'm holding the camera sideways in here, so whatever is vertical is actually on my left side. So you're going to see the connector on my left side, which is actually on top of me, and there it is right at the top of the picture. That also has a safety release right on top, and so there's not much room in there. You're going to go ahead and find that release, press it downwards, and then go ahead and pull that connector out. And there it goes. Once the 3 connectors are removed, the only remaining items to remove are small plastic fasteners that are holding the cable to the car. These come with the cable, and you don't have to be careful with them because you will get new ones with the new cable, so just pull them out with pliers. Once those are removed, the only remaining task is to pull the cable out. Once you get the cable removed, all you're going to do is the reverse process to get the new cable in. Okay, the cable is installed and I'm going to test it, and it is functional once again. One thing I might add is that in my vehicle, you can see the actual broken wire here. Now, you can have a broken wire and it gives the appearance that it's not broken because the insulation is holding the wire together. So that might be the case even if it doesn't appear you have a broken wire. What I would do in that case is use your key to release the trunk and go ahead and push this button, keep it depressed, and reach around here and wiggle this harness around. And in some cases it will make a connection on an internally broken wire, and you'll be able to hear the release. Thanks for watching the video, and if it's been helpful to you, please click the like button.